Let's get started. Live from San Francisco, Adobe XD Weekly. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Please let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know your country, your city. Here I am live from Adobe in San Francisco. This is where the XD team sits, and we have a lot of great work being done right now, and you can really influence how we do things, how we make things evolve. I have Kayla on the chat managing the questions. I have Lindsay is not here today because she's in Vegas for our Adobe Summit. So Adobe has this big two main areas: Creative Cloud, where all the apps are, like I'm on the Creative Cloud side, and we also have the marketing side, the Experience Cloud. And we have this big conference taking place right now there in Vegas, and Lindsay is there to talk to customers, talk to social, and it's a great opportunity to find more insights as well, to learn from our customers. So we're always trying to connect with the community and go from there. Let me check if everything is fine. It looks like everything is going well. Awesome. And again, let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me take a look at the chat very quickly here to see if we have... All right. Very good. Let me make sure we're live here. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. All right. So let's get this started. Again, let me know where you're tuning in from. I have Kayla there answering questions. I have Lindsay also in San Francisco there, and we have a lot to talk about today. So again, just want to introduce myself. My name is Demian Borba. I work on the Adobe XD team. I was one of the first product managers for XD, and now I focus on key customers. I focus on the relationship with the community, with you guys. So I do events, I do talks, and I get all that feedback back to the product team. So this is pretty exciting stuff. And let me know where you're tuning in from. I would love to learn. And as you know, we go live every Monday Pacific time, 11 a.m. So no matter what, if we're traveling, we're always trying to go live at 11 a.m. to talk to you and to get that feedback back to the product team. All right, we had a big announcement a while ago, and we had lots of good and positive feedback. I think my favorite feature there was that now in XD you can open Sketch and Photoshop files, and that's pretty awesome. And now you can bring all the work you have that you created in those tools in XD, and you can start prototyping right away. It's pretty cool. All right, no questions so far. Perfect. So let me get things started here, and Kayla and Lindsay, if you find questions, please shoot here and we'll go from there. All right, so let me switch to my screen, and the first thing I'd like to show you is a contest that we have. So I think we're really excited, and every week we're trying to do something to give you guys an opportunity to play with XD, to learn about new things, and we're doing these contests all the time. And the latest one that was running, and it's ending now, was this one. So we had a challenge where we asked you guys, the community, to design an error screen using the UI kit created by Megan Fisher. Pretty good UI kit. I have it here, and here you can see it has a lot of elements there. It has instructions here on the top, It has lots of artboards. I can zoom in and out with no problems. I have the fonts that I need. They're typekit fonts, so it's very easy to sync typekit fonts. You go to the Creative Cloud app, then you go to Assets, you'll go to Fonts, and then you do Manage Fonts. It takes you to a website. You select the ones you want. In this case, these two. As soon as you click Sync All or Sync, it will show up in your computer. You will sync and it'll be available here for you. It's pretty good, pretty easy to do. This thing also has a lot of the design system aspect to it. So it has like the typography, like your character styles, your colors, some pattern libraries, like you have your buttons here. It has some icons that you can use. Pretty good UI kit. So Megan did a great job here. There's a little poo icon there. I just saw it. Cool. It has like a lot of components like tabs and that as well. It has checkboxes and drop down items here, and as you know, like last time we showed, you can use this drop down. You can really create that scenario where you click on a drop down, it goes to a separate artboard where it shows it open, so you can create that state, almost like faking that state. And even if it scrolls all the way down, you can do that there. You can preserve the scrolling position as you prototype, so you can really use these guys and play with it very, very easily. It has a lot of other cards here, pretty well designed cards, and you can really copy this, paste into your project, and just go from there. Super, super easy, super powerful to do. And again, we had this contest, and this again was an amazing prize. So the goal was to design something using XD for an error screen, like something went wrong, like the 404 error that when you go to a page and that doesn't exist, something like playing with this animals and pets. And this was super interesting. We saw lots of great examples there on the internet, a lot of great designs coming from all over the place. And the prize, one MacBook Pro 13 inches with the touch bar, so awesome computer, the brand, the latest version, and 1 year of Creative Cloud with all apps. So all the apps that you have, like Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, and InDesign, it's all here, and you get 1 year of all apps with this price. And the winner, randomly selected for this one, was, and it was interesting, it was Scott Purdue. So Scott, I know you're here all the time supporting us, and it was great to see your name popping up there. And yeah, so Scott designed this screen. Oops, our servers are down, right? Meow. It's kind of making this fun with the word meow and now, and really well designed. And yeah, so congrats, Scott. You got a brand new computer and 1 year of Creative Cloud with all apps. So this is pretty exciting. All right, so there's a lot of things going on, and we have a new contest here. Let me see what the details are very quickly. And once I get that, I will give it to you. Let me see if the guys can send it to me here. Oh, there's one question already. When will Adobe XD have mobile preview running with Wire on Windows? I don't like to test the app with Creative Cloud. Yeah, that's a great question. And as you know, if you have your phone connected and you have XD running on a Mac, you can have real-time preview. So as soon as I make a move on a design, I make a change on a design, I can see that reflected in real time on my phone. I can even unplug the phone and do some real user testing. But that doesn't work on Windows, mainly because there's a technical challenge there, and we are working with Microsoft to make that possible. So as you know, as you might know, Microsoft has this new way of creating apps called UWP. I think it's Universal Windows Apps or programs, and it's a brand new platform for development. And XD was the first Adobe app that's natively created for that platform. So we're really going after like the best performance, the best quality. But as the Windows 10 platform evolves, we have to solve these new challenges, and that is in our roadmap. We're working with Microsoft, and hopefully that will land sometime soon. Yeah, so thanks for that feedback. There's another question here. when will Adobe start code like Adobe Muse? Start having code like Adobe Muse? That's a great question, and to answer that, we need to go back to the roots of XD, right? To the principles of XD. The core audience for XD is the UX UI designer. So you have you can design your low fidelity design, your high fidelity design. You can then jump into prototyping, create some interactions, transitions. Then you share to get feedback. So before it gets to developer, before it gets to code, you as a designer, as a UX designer, you can really create something and test and validate and learn and make changes. So this is the core workflow in XD. But then at one point, that designer, once things are validated, you need to send it to a developer. You need to maybe send it to a team of developers that need to implement that, right? And you can export the assets. You can go to File, Export, and export the assets. You can go to tools like Zeppelin that connect with XD. But in XD, we have a way to create links. So let me open XD here very quickly. And if you go to the share piece, like the third pillar of XD, right? So design is the first pillar. Then you can prototype, second pillar, and then you can share to get feedback and iterate. And here you can create a link for people, stakeholders, to see your prototypes. And you can also create a design spec. And this is something for developers. So let's say, I'll copy this one and I'll create a new document just to avoid having lots of different areas. And then let's say you're a developer, I'm the designer, I just finished the work, and I need to hand this off to you. I can go there and I can publish a design spec. Let's say my site components. Then I can create a public link here, and we know that password protection is something that you guys want. A lot of enterprise customers also want that, and that's coming. So stay tuned for that. Then if I open this link, that same design that was there in XD, created and tested and validated by our designer, will show up here, and you'll be able to see information. And while that's loading, just to give you a hint, let's say you want to export an asset for a developer. Let's say you want to export this icon here. You can then go to File, select the element, go to File, Export, select it. Or let's say I want to export this one, and I also want to export this one. So you have I want to export two icons as two separate files. What you can do, you can open the Layers panel, and I can say this. Let me see, pad profile. That's that ellipse and the path on top of it. So I have two elements. I can group them in Command G or Control G on Windows. Then I can say this is my check icon, and the other one is this guy, and yeah, that's the other element. You can group this, and let's say this is, let me check if that's the right icon, and I just need to move the path to the top so it shows there. Oh, actually I have to make it visible. Let me go back here. Perfect. Now that I have that group selected, I can say this is my gender icon. So I have two icons that I want to export, right? Of course I can go here, select one, and then File, Export like I showed you. But if you want to export two at the same time, you can go here in the layer and you can mark this for batch export. Same for that one. You can also right click and mark for batch export. Now that they're marked, you can go to File, Export, Batch, and here you can pick, let's say this is SVG. This is a perfect case for SVG. I can then go to my desktop and you can export, and if you go to your desktop, you have those two icons right there as SVG. So that's how you can export multiple assets. So, but you have to do that in XD. And the reason we're doing that is that we learned a long time ago by multiple initiatives that developers, teams of developers, big companies and agencies, they don't want tools generating code for them. Of course, they want a little bit of CSS, a little bit of things that can speed up that repetitive process, but they really want to spend the energy and efforts on like picking the right framework for them. They want to use I don't know, React or Angular or any other framework for like to implement, or iOS or Android. But we learned that we need to give them assets and information about positioning, measurements, colors, and all that. That's all the developer needs. So to answer your question, XD will not generate code, but we are doing the work to open up XD for plugins, and I'm sure that when that happens, a lot of plugin developers will create plugins that will generate code somehow using that information. But that's not a core goal of XD, generate code. I hope that answers your question. And one thing that I was trying to show here is that when you create a design spec, and it's here, so now that this thing is created, I can click as a developer, and you can see that I can see all the colors that are used here, and if I hover, I see the where it's being used. Same for font, where it's being used. And if I click here on one, I can then see information about that specific selection. So I can see the text that's used there is this one. If I click here, I copy that into memory. Same for the color, I copy. As soon as I click on things here on the right, I copy that in memory. Same here. So this is a very easy way for the developer to learn how things need to be implemented. And then if I select one and if I hover others, I can see the distance from this guy to the other. Two things that are not here yet. One is asset extraction and a little bit of CSS information. But we are doing the work to enable that, and that will come in the next update, in a future update. But to get assets, you just go through that process that I showed you, select the elements you want, then you go to File, Export. It can be a batch one, and here you can export as SVG, as PNG, PDF, or JPEG, all there for you. And let us know if you need more. If you need more, why generating code is that important to you in your case, or connecting to Muse that generates code is really important to your case. Let us know. This is one way of getting that feedback, so you can really ask here, or you can go to adobexd.uservoice.com, and here you can suggest feature requests, you can file bugs, and go from there. So you were asking about Muse. Let's say if we have like integration export to Muse. So as you can see, that feature is under review, and you can upvote this, and then as soon as the PM responsible for that feature sees it or changes the status here or has a question, you get an email, and then you can interact with us that way. And you can see that the top requested features here are, the number one is fixed elements, and we're working on that. And you have over 700 comments here to help to inform the product team, the XD team there. All right, cool. So I hope that answers your question. Next question: when are we getting guidelines in Ruler for XD? Good question. And my question here is, what are you trying to do with that? Is it to create a grid? Is it to create something to help you design? Please let us know exactly why you need that, because as you know, in XD today you have layout grids, so you can have, let's say, 12 columns to do like a bootstrap layout, and then you can have this on top of your design just to guide you. This doesn't get exported, and here you can, if you change the opacity to 0 here, you see almost like guides, and now every time you design on top of this, it will snap to the grid. We also have a very nice square grid, so for mobile apps. Let me see if I have a mobile comp here that will create a better scenario. Not really, but let's say I create a new project based on mobile. Then here, mobile, one recommendation is to use a square grid, and if you use 8 or let's say 64, this gives you a very good framework to start designing on top, and it will help you that way. So if you really need guides, one thing you can do in the meantime is you can draw a line like to be your guide, then you can lock it. So now with Command L or Control L, so now if you cannot move this thing because it's locked, and things will snap and things will give information about that specific let's say line that's trying to be a guide. So that was my question. And the other one around rulers, it's really around, like, we have this virtual pixel model in XD where you can design in this virtual model. Let's say I design an icon that's 30 by 30, but it's 30 by 30, no exact end. I can have it exported as 1x, and then it'll be 30 by 30 pixels. If I export the same thing as 2x, it'll be 60 by 60 pixels. That's how we're doing. So that's why I think that's the biggest reason that we don't have rulers there, because you can design in this virtual scenario and then you can export to multiple resolutions after that's designed. All right. Another question: will XD be able to support GIFs or GIFs? That's a big debate there. That's in our roadmap. We are planning to support GIFs and video, so we're doing the work to support that. We'll land at a different time, and if you really want that, to see that evolving, you can say in user voice, you can go video and GIF, and here you can see the feature is in the backlog. There's more than 1,000 votes there, and multiple discussions, 268 discussions. If you want to add your feedback here, how you wanted this to work, please add your feedback, your comments. And if you vote on this thing, as soon as the PM changes this to feature started, meaning that we started the work here, engineers really started working on it, then you get an email, and when it's completed, when it's shipping, then you can also get notifications. Cool. Any plans to integrate with Flinto or Principal? I would say that if you really need that, again, like, make sure you add this to user voice integration with very specific tools. One approach is we can work with them like we did with Zeppelin, Avocode, where in XD you can go to your design, and let's say, let me get a real one here. I will get this one. Then I can create a new document, and from that document with that artboard, I can go File, Export, Zeppelin, and this will send this design to Zeppelin. I can pick where I want it. It's now transferring that big artboard here, and once I'll get there, the developer using Zeppelin can go here and do the same thing and inspect. So if this is a big request, please let us know, and then if you know people there, like these companies, let us know. We can always try to work with them to create this connection. But one thing that I want to say, like, those are tools really good for very high fidelity prototyping work, and last year we did a lot of work for to have very good design features in XD for the last 3 years actually, right? But this year things will get really, really good in prototype mode for XD. That's all I can say, and you'll be able to do a lot there. Yeah. All right, and yeah, so if you guys, let me know if there are more questions or feedback. Again, as I was saying, XD now opens Sketch and Photoshop files, so very easily you can go to File, Open. Let me get one here that say this one, very well designed by Joshua in Nigeria. Well, now that I have this Sketch document that's now living in XD, I can very easily start prototyping, right? And I can say whenever I click, if I go to prototype mode, whenever I tap there, I go to this artboard, and it's already there, already created. And question: when is the next release? Yeah, that's a very good question. April. All I can say. All right, what are all the programs compatible with XD? So yeah, we have a blog post. I think Kayla can post a link to it, but let me see if I remember all of them. Of course, you can bring content from Sketch and Photoshop. Open those files here. You can copy elements from Illustrator and paste here in XD. They remain editable. In terms of integrations, where you can go to File, Export, and send assets to these tools, we have Zeppelin, we have Avocode, we have Kite, we have Simply, and Protopie. So Protopie is one that allows you to do micro interactions in a very creative and interesting way. So that's there for you. Cool. All right. So If you really want to learn more about XD, there's a lot of content out there. I just wanted to highlight that I just released 2 courses on lynda.com, and I shared everything I know about XD. So I've been on this team for almost 3 years now. I shared every little trick that I know about that, and it's there. And I think there's a 30-day trial there. You can watch it in less than 3 hours. You can watch the whole thing. Yeah, and then we're traveling all over the place. I was in San Diego, I was in Philadelphia for Creative Jams. So another thing that I really want to highlight here is if you are interested in attending Creative Jams, you can go to adobecreativejams.com, and this is a great opportunity to connect with the team and see amazing presentations. There's a lot of jams coming up. We were doing one in Philadelphia. There's more coming tomorrow. There's one in Indiana, Phoenix, Miami. There's a lot of very good jams coming. So if you want a jam in your city, let us know as well. We can really see if there's demand and if there's a way to do that there. Cool. There's a question here. Will Adobe products will be free in the near future? Adobe's a business, right? I don't want to get in trouble here, but we're trying our best to deliver the best value by something that's fair, that's something that's really accessible for everyone. So we have good news coming up, but yeah, we're doing everything we can to make that even better. In the US, if I'm not wrong, XD is $9.99 per month. So it's cheaper than a regular meal. And if you do creative work, you can really access all these amazing features, prototype, design, and it's all there for you. Right, and there are Adobe products that are free already. Cool. Let's see if I have questions here on this other one. Hey guys, it's not here. Maybe I can sneak something. I'll wait a little bit more, but yeah, let us know. We're trying to show you as much as possible there. I was planning to show a lot of typography tips today, but I only have 3 minutes left, so I'll save it for next Monday. Actually, we're gonna have Ash, and Ash is gonna talk about type as well there, so maybe I can mix that there and show you a couple of tips that I'm really I invest a lot of energy in learning how to make better typography, how to create content and design that's good for people, right? I know it has to look nice and everything, but it really has to be optimized for people. How we can make it easier to read, what not to do that makes it hard to read. So all these little things that can help you there to structure the for optimized reading experiences and grids and all of that. Yeah, in terms of events, we have part of the product team now visiting South Korea. So if you are in South Korea, they're there. They were in Japan. We have all the jams going over. I'll be in Brazil in May for events. We have lots of things happening in Europe. And again, if you really want to stay connected, please go to user voice, adobexd.uservoice.com. If you have burning questions, please ask them on Twitter or any other place, like the live streams that we do every Monday at 11. And if you use hashtag Adobe XD or at Adobe XD, the entire team sees it, and we can answer and we can connect with you right there. All right, let me see if I have any last minute questions. The last one here, when we're gonna have some feature to do responsive design to desktop from mobile and vice versa. And I have great news there. We are doing the work to support that. As we speak, that work is taking place, and there's a lot of Adobe magic there, and I cannot wait to show you all that. So yes, and this will come very soon. If you're voting on those features in user voice, you can see that the PM responsible for that gave you some answers, and it's saying they're working on it. And if you really want to add your needs, your workflows, please go to user voice, add your workflows there. Just go to adobexd.uservoice.com and search for responsive design. Perfect. So that's it. If you like this, please give us a like. And thanks, guys. See you next Monday. Bye.